Information for you about IB scores and the high school transcript here in Hopkins Public Schools. First, this information was built collaboratively between the two IB coordinators, Angela Wilcox and Jennifer Poncelet at North and West Junior High, and Dr. Michelle Kuhl at the College and Career Readiness Coordinator at Hopkins High School. And Dr. Kuhl is also a Hopkins parent. This is Angela Wilcox speaking on behalf of our team to give you the updates about these changes. So, who will be affected by this particular information about IB scores and the college transcript? It'll be the classes of 24, 25, and 26. So, this year's freshmen, sophomores, and juniors. Each of your grade level ninth graders got information about what their high school transcripts would look like as they headed off to college with our shift to using IB scores instead of letter grades. So here's what's not going to change. First of all, credits don't change. So ninth grade classes count for high school credit, graduation credit. Colleges have always looked at ninth grade grades. They will continue to look at ninth grade grades. Those grades will continue to look like IB scores instead of letter grades for our ninth graders. Again, for that freshman, sophomore, and junior class of 24, 25, and 26. And the other thing that won't change is that students who complete the ninth grade capstone community project will continue to have a designation on their transcript that indicates that they successfully completed that capstone project. So none of these things will change. What will change is the way we calculate a student's grade point average from Hopkins Public Schools. The original plan was to base grade point average on the grades that assigned letter grades with a pre-calculated weight, and that was 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. So the A through F scales generates a grade point average. The current plan is to also make a translation that turns those ninth grade IB scores into a grade point average weight so that their ninth grade can be calculated into a 4-year high school GPA. So they'll get a GPA based on their IB scores in ninth grade and based on their letter grades in 10th, 11th, and 12th. Why are we making this change? Well, first and always, we consider what is best for students. We will not make decisions that we think are going to hinder or hamper our students' ability to pursue whatever the next best post-secondary option is for them. This is very important. Class rank is more equitable with a 4-year grade point average. And one of the things we realized is that in order to run a class rank for our graduating seniors, everybody's grade point average has to be calculated based on the same number of years in that GPA. We can't have some 3-year GPAs and some 4-year GPAs. And it's more equitable with a 4-year GPA. It is also important to us that this change does not change the integrity of the IB score. So the philosophy of grading that underlies our shift to IB scoring in ninth grade, that doesn't change. So their scores are still based on their growth over the year. Their scores are still based on where they were able to achieve by the end of the year. And so they're still assets-based and more holistic, and they have the whole year to grow to those. None of those things about their ninth grade scores will change. This was an important consideration as we looked at examples of student transcripts and realized that a 4-year grade point average disperses the weight of each individual grade more so that a single C or a single D will not pull your overall grade point average down as much if we're doing it spread over 4 years instead of 3 years. We were able to get new perspectives and information from our community, especially parents counselors, including college counselors and students, that helped us understand that we needed to make this change. And then finally, and this was really the impetus and the push for us to make this consideration. We are now going to be a 4-year high school for the first time in decades in Hopkins schools. We will have a ninth through 12th grade high school. And we don't want to have some students in the building who are generating a 4-year GPA and some who are generating a 3-year GPA. And we did not know when we started this shift to IB scoring and made this decision about grade point average that we were going to be moving to a 4-year high school so quickly. So here we are. And now we know next year's freshmen will be in the high school generating a 4-year GPA. We want to make sure that our sophomore, junior, and senior class next year are on the same solid ground that our next year's freshmen are. So everyone in the building next year will generate a 4-year GPA. Here is how these scores will translate into a grade point average weight. This is a slightly updated table from what we were using previously, and it is slightly more generous in the weight that we give to each one of the IB scores. So 6 and 7 earns a 4.0 GPA weight, a 5 is a 3.67, and then 4, 3, and 2 correspond to like a 3.0, a 2.0, and a 1.0. And a 1, which does not earn high school credit for the course, understandably does not have a GPA weight. So this is the table that will be used to calculate a grade point average. Notice there are no letter grades here. We are not translating the scores into letter grades. We're simply giving a weight to each one of these IB scores that can be calculated into the grade point average. You can see a quick snapshot. Fall of 12th grade is the grade point average calculation that most colleges will see because your scholar applies for colleges while they're still in high school, right? So usually in the fall semester by December, they have submitted most of their college applications. So their college GPA is based on their first 3 years of high school. So you can see that in the 3-year versus the 4-year GPA, in the fall of their 12th grade year, there's actually a reasonable enough difference between those two with the exact same letter grades that we can see the advantage of a 4-year GPA for this scenario. You have all A's, you got 1 C, your 4-year GPA is going to be higher than your 3-year GPA would be. And then you can see then in the final transcript overall, if you continued to earn all A's, you stayed with that 1 C, there's negligible difference overall over the 4 years. But in that important moment in the fall of your senior year, that 4-year GPA is going to give you advantage over a 3-year. So distributing that GPA over 4 years lessens the impact of each individual grade. All right, if you have further questions and you are a current high school parent, you can reach out to Dr. Cool. She's that college and career readiness coordinator, and she is highly knowledgeable about all of this and really drove a lot of this important work. If you are a current junior high parent of a 9th grader, you can reach out to your corresponding IB coordinator, either Angela Wilcox, myself, or Jennifer Poncelet. Thank you. I hope this is helpful. Reach out if you have questions. Thank you.